Today we're going to talk about genetic engineering. So your heading can be genetic engineering, and go ahead and write down that definition. Methods to change the arrangement of a gene's DNA to improve an organism for our use. Methods to change the arrangements of a gene's DNA to improve an organism for our use. So, changing the genetics of something to help us out. I'm going too fast. You can always stop. Pause. There are many ways to do this. You don't need to write this. But we can actually physically take the DNA out of something and place it in something else. I'm going to have you guys do some research later in the week on genetically modified things, and a lot of them involve taking a gene out of one thing and putting it into another to get certain characteristics. And there's another thing called gene therapy. You don't need to write this, but basically it's removing a harmful gene and putting a new gene in there. Breast cancer is a genetic thing, and so I know you can get screened to see if you have the certain gene that puts you at risk for breast cancer, and there are ways to treat that by taking out that gene and putting in something better. That's gene therapy, not that gene therapy. And they'll actually use a virus to deliver that. I'm not too worried that you know that. Some examples of gene therapy. One is cloning. Okay, cloning is taking DNA out of something, putting into an egg, and making the exact same thing. In the 90s, I believe it was 96, Dolly the sheep was cloned successfully. They took the DNA of one sheep, put it into an egg, a donor, and it had a baby that was the exact clone of the original sheep. And then I remember everyone being so worried that, oh, everyone's going to get cloned and all this stuff, and it never really happened. But cloning is an example. Faster growing trees are an example of genetic engineering. We've genetically engineered a lot of trees to do certain things. For example, I bought a couple years ago a peach tree that would live in South Dakota. Most peach trees are from down south. They need warmer weather. They need long growing season. South Dakota, we do not have warm, long growing seasons. But it was genetically modified so that way it would produce peaches really fast before it got cold. A lot of our fruit trees are like that. Some trees are actually kind of grafted together, where you can have two different kinds of apple trees on one tree, and half would be one, half would be the other. Maybe you have one of those or seen one of those. Our crops can be insect, drought, fungus resistant. They can be, you've probably heard of Roundup Ready corn or beans. Okay, it means you can spray them with the pesticide and they will not die. That's genetic engineering. Some of our medical stuff, like insulin, is genetically engineered from pigs, where we harvest the insulin from a pig. So all of these are examples of genetic engineering. You can go to, at certain times of the year, go to like Walmart or Hy-Vee and get things like graples. I don't know if you've heard of a grapple. It's a grape and an apple, and it's kind of in between sizes. It's much bigger than a grape, but slightly smaller than an apple, and it kind of tastes like both of them. It's a combination of the two. seedless watermelon. Watermelons naturally have seeds, so we've genetically engineered them to not have seeds. Oranges normally have seeds. We've genetically engineered them to not. There's lots of little examples. You can get glow-in-the-dark fish that are genetically engineered. They took the glowing protein out of a jellyfish and put it in a fish, a goldfish, and you can have glow-in-the-dark like nightlight fish. So there are a lot of examples of genetic engineering. With anything, there are good and bad things. Some of the pros, it'll help produce more crops, disease resistant, help us more food, more medicine. There are some side effects. Some people believe that genetically modified things give you food allergies, and there's some things that we're not sure about. But you've probably seen the commercials where it says contains no GMOs, no genetically modified organisms. Okay, well, we wouldn't be able to feed the world if we didn't have genetically modified organisms. So that's kind of a ploy to get you to spend more money on stuff. So there's nothing crazy to worry about when it comes to genetically modified things. So that is our notes for the day.